And this is my last word review on the Lenovo Moto G4. This is the first Motorola phone with ads. Now, one thing that I've noticed is that when you're in Wi-Fi, the ads change very regularly. So they're trying to save your data from being hit by the different ads. But other than that, this is a nice phone. So you have like a metal frame around. You have a real grippy back, which is real nice. You have a Motorola dimple that's not that deep. That's not that pronounced. You have a volume button with some grip. You got volume keys that feels rich as well. It almost feels like a metal phone, but it's plastic. But it feels good in the hand. It is a nice phone. You're not gonna feel any way using this phone. If you're used to Motorola, you'll feel right at home. Even with these Amazon ads, they're not intrusive. They're not a problem. I kind of like it. Now, you have bezels that are not the smallest bezels. They're not bad. So when it comes all around to the build of the phone, I would say it's a pass, even though it's light and to some people it might feel a little bit cheap. When it comes to the speaker, you get a front speaker, firing speaker in the front at the top, nothing at the bottom. That's the only speaker. This is a mono speaker. So let's take a listen and let's hear how this speaker sounds. If you hold it face down, it'll be a little muffled. You turn it around, you get a pretty good sound coming from this front firing speaker. Sounds pretty good. No complaints here. We all know Motorola knows how to make a speaker. So the speaker is pretty good. I would say for a budget phone, the speaker is pretty good. 5-megapixel camera in the front, and a lot of flagships have a 5-megapixel camera. It's not the greatest camera, but it's definitely not the worst. It's a definite pass. But when you get to the back camera, 13 megapixel is pretty impressive. Let's take a look at some shots that I was able to take with this 13 megapixel camera. So 13 megapixel camera with flash, you can see it's not bad. It's not bad, it's not the best, but you know what? 2-3 years ago, this would have been a top-notch camera for Motorola. So I'm impressed. When it comes to the screen, you got a 5.5-inch 1080p display. This is a nice display. Viewing angles are pretty good, not that distorted. It's very good. In bright sunlight, you can still look at the screen. You can still see it's legible. Watching videos and so forth is pretty enjoyable. So I would say the Moto G4 for a budget phone has an above average screen. Moto G4 is rocking a Snapdragon 617 processor. This is a quad-core processor, 2 gigs of RAM, and you can get it in 16 or 32 for less than $200. That's incredible. Amazon ads aside, this is a pretty good phone. This phone you can get for about $150, and I got it at $179. So that goes to tell you the price has already been lowered, and I actually like the ads. So the processor is running, but the battery life for a budget phone is tremendous. You can easily go an 8-hour shift with this phone with no issues. You can check above and check my battery life review so you can find out the exact numbers, but battery life is on point with this phone. Micro USB at the bottom, turbocharging, you can't beat it. Battery life is on point when it comes to this Moto G4. Now, when you're looking at the phone, you're looking at a basic stock Android phone with a little bit of Moto tweaks in it. Google Play Launcher, it really is a nice thing that you have here with Motorola. If you do a twist action, you launch straight into your camera. This is hot. Able to take a picture instantly just by a flick of the wrist. That's hot. Chop chop. Flashlight. Instantly. Works every time. Chop chop. It's off. This is some tremendous stuff for a budget phone. Now, when you have notifications, the ads are not going to show up like this. They're going to show in a little card view, which is really hot. The Moto G4, if you're looking for a budget phone within the range of $200 or less, this is the phone that you want. This is a good budget phone, good battery life, good screen, pretty good cameras. Motorola, you've done a good job with this just budget phone. I would like to try this phone with different backs to see if it makes the phone feel a little bit richer. But for right now, this is what we have, and the Moto G4 is a definite pass.